Write it down. Send it to me. Let me take it up in the prayer tower. I go up in the prayer tower so often to pray. I like to have your letter. I just lay my hand right on those prayer requests and believe God to restore to you what the devil has stolen from you. Then I'm going to go over to the city of faith. I've never gone up on that 60th floor to pray. I'm going to take that prayer request of yours up there and I'm going to pray. First at the prayer tower and then over there at the city of faith where we're merging medicine and prayer. Get that letter in the mail to me today. Do something about your condition, and I believe that God will hear our prayers.
Oral Roberts should be writing a letter and praying for a miracle for himself if recent audience surveys are correct. Roberts is still the biggest televangelist in America, but he has lost more viewers in the last 3.5 years, some 2 million of them, than many of his competitors ever had. The 40% drop in his audience to about 2.2 million viewers is seen by some experts as the beginning of the end.
God will use his people. And the freedoms we enjoy, freedom of press and speech, the freedoms that are protected, I'm grateful that the perverts have the right to walk out there and hold up their signs if they want to. But I'd recommend they get back in the closet. We don't need to parade our iniquity on Main Street. But in America, we protect the right of people to say what they believe.
Televangelists who get involved in political debate may also find themselves off the air. Robert Alley of the University of Richmond is a private citizen who became upset when he had to listen to Jerry Falwell's politics on television. He got even more upset when this televangelist, Pat Robertson of the 700 Club, who claims not to be political, went on for 20 minutes espousing his own political views. Alley did what anyone can do. He demanded equal time of the television stations airing the programs and got it.
There are, in our minds, some very dangerous implications for the assertion that there is only one way that the Bible can be interpreted, and that in turn becomes a guideline for domestic and foreign policy.
But television stations don't like having to do this, and when controversial subjects come up in some televangelist sermons, some stations are already telling the primetime preachers to take their message somewhere else.
You know that in many stations now, when I even mention abortion, there's some stations that don't want to carry the program. In New York City, the last 3 times that I mentioned abortion, including once in my own testimony, where I just said my mother went to a doctor to have me aborted and he wouldn't do it. They would not run the program in New York City just because I mentioned that. Now, I think that is a violation of my free speech, but they wouldn't run it.
T-minus 10. 9.
If there are problems with televangelism, it hasn't stopped the launching of literally hundreds of new projects.
6, 5.
The evangelicals have seized the opportunity offered by television in a way only they can appreciate.
4. We've gone for main engine start. We have main engine start.
And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred, tongue, and gospel. The televangelists believe those words from Revelation chapter 14, verse 6 describe not an angel, but a satellite. The scripture goes on to describe 3 such angels or satellites flying through the heavens above the earth. They note it would take exactly 3 satellites 25,000 miles above the equator in geosynchronous orbit to cover the entire globe. They could preach the gospel by way of television in dozens of languages. What the Apostle John thought were the wings of angels, say the televangelists, were actually the solar panels on the satellites.